Okay, everyone. Welcome to Sunny and Vick, the world's most extravagant, lucrative, prosperous podcast
in the world.
in the world.
Or in Abbotsford. One or the other.
No, I was just thinking over a name change we talked about.
Yeah.
Instead of being the multiverse, called the Mentalverse. And then when we went on our little Wizards party,
Yeah.
which is, if anybody's unfamiliar with the Wizards party, is you get a bunch of friends, you get some shrooms, and you go into the wilderness, and you don't come back until some magical shit happens.
Straight up.
That's a Wizards party. So during our Wizards party, we were talking about what we could call the podcast. I was like, yo, Sonny, why don't we just call it Sunny and Vick and go from there?
Yeah.
Because we're just going to talk about what we're going to talk about. There's going to be a lot of talking about, we are going to talk quite a bit about mental health, but also whatever piques our interest. So I think we'll go with Sunny and Vick.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
And then a few months from now, you guys can wait for the next name.
The next name.
After the next Wizards party. We don't know what we're going to call it then.
Change it up once in a while. Yeah. Because the thing is, like, we do talk about the mind, obviously. So it's about the mental side of it. But then it kind of detaches the rest of it, you know? Like, we still have the other body. We have, like, our body. We have, you know, the spiritual side and all that, too. So I think we obviously now working out, like, every single day together, like, we're seeing that side of it, too. It's, you know, the mental side, too. But it's all, like, about the entire body and kind of putting it all together.
Yeah.
And those are now, you know, one of our hobbies too. So obviously we want to kind of bring that up and talk more about like the benefits of like little things, like even from our wizard party, you know, like Gringer came into the wizard party with no intention and we told him to bring an intention. And
his intention was, we're like, okay, you can come to the wizards party and you can set an intention. Like, what's the reason that you're here? Why are you wanting to go into the Dell? Why are you wanting to deep dive into your psyche? What's the reason? And he's like, I just want to see what my tolerance is. I want to just see do the most I possibly can. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah. Or you get an intention, and he came out of it. Like, I saw him and his wife recently, and she even said it that, you know, like he's actually, since he's gotten back, like one of his things was, hey, I'm just going to start getting back into working out.
The yoga.
And being consistent, doing yoga. So he's like hardcore back at least into that and putting that in the back of his mind that, hey, like I'm done work now, I should get my workout in or whatever he can for now at least, because we know how hard it is the first couple of weeks of trying to get back into it. For some people can take some time, and everybody's making their New Year's resolutions. Like, I already heard so many people, oh man, after New Year's I'm gonna kill it. I'm like, why aren't you killing it today? Like, why don't you just go today? And you don't have to even kill it. Just get ready for whatever you're thinking about doing after New Year's. Like, you don't want to just go January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th and then, like, fucking pull a muscle and you're like, hey, I can't work out.
Yeah. There's a few ways to do it. Some people, there's so many people that shit on New Year's. They're like, oh, yeah, don't worry about a New Year's resolution. You're just getting caught up in the hype. Some people actually, I would say a small percentage, they succeed in whatever it is. It's all setting intentions, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you think about going into the new year. Even with my coaching practice, I tell my clients that it's okay to set intentions for the new year, because you might get, you know, it's great to get caught up in the group morale. It's great to get caught up in the group energy of people wanting to do the same thing together. There's something very powerful about us saying that, okay, for example, you and I going to the gym every day together, 9 a.m., banging out. Even your wife was like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's the routine, man. Yeah. I'm not going to stray from this schedule. Like, this is life now. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But it is where we are holding each other accountable and we are keeping each other engaged in the gym, pushing each other, motivating each other, having fun, mixing it up, coming up with new exercises, switching up the routine so it doesn't become boring. That all started with the intention to want to come together to work out, which, you know, I had told you that a long time ago. I'm like, we got to train together. If we're going to podcast together, we need to train together. We need to be able to communicate without even speaking. That's what we do in the gym. We just hang it out and we can look at each other and we're just kind of maneuvering through the gym together without speaking. So again, that all started with an intention. So it's great that in this New Year's, everybody has the opportunity to set an intention of how they would like this next year to be. You can wholeheartedly go all out and dream big with whatever it is you're going to do for your resolution, as long as you are also incorporating something that's manageable that you can see yourself doing on a regular basis. Because you don't want to sprint up the hill, man.
No.
You can walk and you're going to get to your destination. So
Yeah.
you can take steps towards whatever your ultimate goal is with whatever resolution or intention you want to set in the New Year's.
Yeah, you're right. I think the setting intentions is a bigger thing than just people saying, "Oh, it's a new year." But it also is a new year. The Earth has traveled for that 1 year, and it's kind of a reset for everybody. The seasons are and everything's going to change, and it's kind of like a mindset from like for the first time you figure out what New Year's is to now. Like you kind of know it's a reset of like the new year. So I kind of understand people that make those goals that, hey, this new year, like these are my intentions of these are the things I think I'm going to be able to do, or these are the things I want to accomplish. So it is a good thing to set these intentions, set some goals for yourself, because you don't want to just start the new year and be like, oh, fuck goals and all that. I'll just kind of do what I need to do that following year. Yeah, everybody's going to do what they need to do that following year, but you should set some kind of intention, because then by the end of the year, did you accomplish anything that you were kind of set out to do?
Yeah. Here are some tips that I've shared with my clients that I've also learned from the past about intention setting and setting goals. First, rather than picking, an intention, saying it out loud, why not take the time to curate an environment that is inviting and feels empowering and uplifting, and then start to work on your intentions? Meaning, rather than trying to do it on your kitchen table, if that might work for you, that's great. But why not importance it a little bit more and take the time, go out for a walk, clear your head, eat really good that day. Don't get drunk, try to make your resolutions when you're hammered. You're not going to remember them after the next day. But when you are making your resolutions, create an environment that's very inviting. Think about your 5 senses, right? So our nervous system is constantly getting stimulated through the 5 senses. Why not take the time to reset those senses, get them still, so that you can find the clarity within you to pull out what it is that you want to accomplish for this next year. So light some incense, get some good scents going, eat well, try to do it when you have the most energy. Time of day is going to matter too. You don't want to do it when you're too tired, right? You want to be able to do it when the mind is fresh. Get rid of distractions, get rid of your phone, really narrow down your focus, get rid of all those distractions, and make it like an event. You can make it like an event. And if you are going to do it with friends, that's a great idea, because again, you could get caught up in the group morale and then, create a space together. Everybody toss their phones away, grab out some paper. You can say your intentions out loud, your goals out loud. Some people are going to have a lot. Some people are going to have like one. Some people are going to be unsure, and they might get inspired if they do it in a group with others. So if you're uninspired, you can research online, take a look at what other people are doing for their resolutions. Just because you were inspired by them doesn't mean that you're copying them. It just means that sometimes people inspire us to pull out what we already know, but it's kind of hidden in the recesses of our mind. It's not really, that information isn't available to us. And then, coming to your, an example, I'm like, man, I didn't know how much I wanted a view in my home. Coming to your new house, I'm like, damn, I want a view. It was in the back of my mind. I was just like, I'm good with what I have. And I'm like, you got a crazy view out here. So, because I'm inspired, right? So it's getting inspired by other people's intentions is a good way to draw out the creative side in you, because you're going to need to get creative when you are thinking about your goals. They don't have to be like, oh, I want to, very black and white. I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. It's like, yeah, but if you go beneath the surface, you can get really creative with these goals, and you'd be well on the way towards transforming your life for the better in all aspects: relationship, career, well-being. And that all starts with setting the intentions, writing it out, saying it out, thinking it, they're very some people can think it and get it accomplished. Sometimes I do things and I just think it, I don't have to write it out. But I think for the most part, the big things, I need some kind of a whiteboard, strategize my life a little bit, to get my internal house in order, and take a look at all the different areas of my life and make it tangible so I can see it. And then from there start to see, okay, well, what areas do I want to see improvement in? What are some goals? Like, where are some areas I want to have more fun in my life?
Yeah.
Simple things like that. So
yeah, I think the Wizards and Witches party, because it's, you know, for anybody that wants to attend, like obviously we want, like, going there now, finding a spot that we know we can 100% go back to every single time. And we obviously want to add to that. So, you know, to anybody out there that's listening, they want more information for something like that, like we definitely want to make a group and a community, because the place we went to, you know, it's actually a big place. There's a lot of different cabins on there, so you can have like basically a community staying there for the time for that event. But I think if you can't come to something like that, people, how you just said, you know, go with your friends, go to a place, put the phones away. And even if you don't go there with an intention, you might form an intention while you're there, because, you know, now you have the peace and quiet. You're kind of away from home. You're away from all the distractions. It's just you and kind of other people trying to find their intentions, or trying to get better of what their intentions are, a better idea, especially with like the psychedelics kind of providing another layer to that, because that really gave us kind of an outside perspective of just like looking at things. And then, you know, all the other little things that we did, our yoga session, just kind of our hikes and just the boat rides and stuff like that, just little things that might make you just kind of think of something. Hey, you know what, like I'd actually want to do this in my life, or I want to try to get out more, or with my family, or with this person. Like there's so many things that I think by going to these places and putting yourself in that kind of situation, things just come out of it. Like me and you went there with some intentions. Grinder really didn't. But while being there, like I had other intentions pop up that I kind of had time to think.
Sometimes you're not going to know sometimes what it is. Sometimes you need to, one of my favorite sayings is, you got to go away to come back. So going away, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, get yourself into a different mindset, a different frame of mind. Like that's where we went. Like we went physically. We took a ferry on to Balacara, which is not so fancy.
Yeah, like some other country.
But it's actually just
Balcara.
But it's just by Port Moody.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and so getting out to Balacara, just setting the going out there, we didn't have the intention. Some of us didn't have concrete intentions, but they arose because we went away to come back.
Yeah,
we made the effort to get out of our routine, you know, get out of our familiar environment. That's huge, man. You see this? That's why people love vacations.
Yeah,
they think, oh, what's the perfect destination spot? Literally anywhere that's not your regular 9-to-5 grind type of scenario.
Yeah,
that's the perfect destination spot, because you're now invigorating all of your senses once again. Everything can get dull and saturated by doing the same thing, seeing the same scenery, talking to the same people. Like sometimes we want a little adventure, and that's gonna invoke the creative side within us. That's gonna make us feel more alive, and that's, you know, that's what we did. It was beautiful. We took a ferry, got to the island, like you said. We had some intentions that we set before. We had a little cremate your past ceremony where we did some burning of. I burned some old journals. Did some ice plunging in the ocean. We did some beautiful hikes. Man, some of those mushrooms are alive.
Yeah,
I swear to you, some of the foliage, if you will. There's some fantastic
moss and everything too.
Top-notch foliage out there. And it was beautiful. And so
all the food,
we went away to come back.
Yeah, and all that food that we ate too, just a lot of beef, a lot of meat.
Yeah.
kind of primal.
Sunny and I are low carb right now.
Yeah.
So we're eating a lot of meat, a lot of eggs, and just trying to get this guy off his sugar too. He's drinking these aloe vera drinks right now. Fucking 30 grams of sugar. It astonishes me. You know, if this was like 10 years ago, I'd be the same way. I really didn't pay attention. I didn't look at the labels of the food I was eating, but y'all should, if you aren't, just fucking take 2 seconds before you buy anything, turn it around and take a look at the nutritional content. All right? Some of this shit, you'd be amazed. You're like, holy fuck. And he's like, I love these. These taste so good. I'm like, and I turn the fucking thing around. I'm like, of course you like this, man. There's 30 fucking grams of sugar in here. But yeah, so Wizards Party. Yeah, we're gonna do another one soon. So anybody that wants to get down and wants to go away to come back, so to speak, we'll release some details about that soon.
Yeah, it was good because this one, you know, we've done one in the past that was again in December, probably almost the same time as the other one 3 years ago when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of obviously being there, it's cold.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, you wear the right clothes, you're kind of out there hiking, you warm up and stuff. But it'd be awesome to obviously do one on the opposite end too. Have like a really warm one where you can kind of jump into the water more, because we saw the hot tubs that were there, and you know, there were 2-person, maybe even 1-person comfortably sit in that hot tub, and we fit like all 3 of us in there tightly and somehow made it work. But if it was obviously better weather, I think you can kind of do a little bit of other things too. And we got lucky though that there was no rain, no issues, except for the day we left, which didn't really matter to us. But it'd be awesome to kind of see the other spectrum of like the foliage fully out, you know, like it's fully hot weather, spring is there, the colors are kind of changing, just get the other side. Whereas right now, like a lot of things,
It'll be beautiful.
yeah, it is beautiful because it's crazy, because like you see some of the trees dying in the winter, but like the foliage on the inside of that.
And that's just the season showing us how to live our life, to let go.
Yeah. And people forget too that like we have a natural rainforest. Like that whole Belcara region is an actual rainforest. So people think that we have to go to, you know, the Amazon or these crazy jungles to find.
I did my yoga teacher training on Galiano Island.
Yeah. So we have
forest.
Yeah, and we all have, like, it's all rainforest, so it's such beautiful to be able to see that kind of side to it, where we don't look at it like that. We don't look at how much beauty we actually have down here. We know we have mountains, some snow, we have some beaches at the bottom, but nobody actually looks deep in there that, you know, there's this wilderness and whole life that people are living within this rainforest, as we saw when we went to this kind of Cape Holly, it was called, I forget. Yeah, Cape Holly retreat.
Yeah. Wizards Party was dope. Working out every day now has been dope.
Yeah.
Getting the line. I told you, I was like, yo, man, yeah, sure, we'll do a podcast, but you got to train with me every day.
It's funny, even today we had like I think exactly 2-hour session in the last workout. I still thought, like, I was ready to stay there for an hour.
Yeah, you're down. You're like, okay, what's the next exercise? I was like, dope. I was like, well, no, we've been here 2 hours. We played ball. That's what it was, because we got there.
Yeah, true.
We played ball. And one thing that's been showing up a lot in my life that I like to talk about is my love for the little homies.
Yeah.
Especially the young guys that, I don't know, seem to be coming my way. So I've been coaching for about 7-8 years. I've been coaching adults primarily, businesses, people wanting to work on their well-being mentally, emotionally, people who need, you know, desire clarity on their next steps in life. And just for the past probably 2-3 years, I've been taking on roles as a mentor and coaching and guiding young men. And that's been something that I didn't realize, like the views in your home that I wanted. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it, of coaching these young guys, until it started to happen. And even today, when we were playing basketball, Sonny and I were playing ball, and it's open court, and there was these 2 young kids that are shooting at the hoop, probably about like, what, 12, 14?
14 or maybe like 15. They were pretty like similar in age. One was just obviously short, one was tall.
Just little homies, right?
Yeah.
Young little homies, full of life, just shooting around. And we're like, yo, let's do a 2-on-2. So me and the shortest guy got together, Sonny, and the taller guy got together, and then we played a couple of rounds. And the whole time, all I'm wanting to do is like empower this young guy that I'm playing with. And he's just like, he didn't want to take his shot outside the 3, but every time inside the 3, just like a couple of steps inside the 3-point line, he's draining all the shots. And all I'm thinking is like, man, we're going to be so great once it's like a slight adjustment and you get over that little hump of fear of thinking that you need to shoot more and have more power. Because he's tiny, right?
Yeah.
His arms are tiny and
he's like me growing up. Like that was my size. And, you know, he even, the little move I kept using on him was hucking it to my teammate over him. And I just wanted him to kind of learn that, because that's something I had to learn too, that, sometimes you're going to have a switch and now you got the taller guy on you and you have to figure out, how do I body this guy so that I can kind of find my way?
Yeah. He told me too, he's like, I'm not that strong. And all I did is I looked at him like, you got heart though, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at him in the eyes. He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's all you need, man. And I remember you guys were up, like it was like 5-0.
Yeah.
And then the ball was going out of bounds. I freaking slid on the ground. I got my elbow bleeding from it, but just to get the ball and pass it to him, and he got our first basket.
Yeah.
Because of the effort and the heart that I put into it, you know, it inspired him. He threw his heart into it, and he got the first basket.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's empowering. That's life, man. So this is what I want to say. All you adults, semi-adults, I don't really think, you know, with the past few years, that with everything that's been going on with the news, with politics, with a lot of people having dysfunctional relationships because they have differing opinions with their family, with their friends, I think a lot of us has really lost sight of what's important in this life, okay? Whether you're, whatever your religion, whatever your gender, whatever your political views, I think y'all can kind of turn down the volume a bit and look to the youth. And they are the future. And this isn't like a slogan for you to kind of repeat meaning without any meaning whatsoever. They literally are the future. And it is, if you want to live in a society, this is just my belief. If you want to live in society, as we do, then as you get older, it's imparted upon all of us to raise up the little homies, because it takes a village. So when y'all are done playing, you know, these personas and these characters, getting angry at every single thing online with each other, with what really grinds your gears, maybe y'all can simmer down and take a look to the youth and inspire them, empower them, lead them with a little bit of love, see what you can do, rather than being so self-absorbed in your world as if you're the main character. None of y'all are main characters. I hate to break it to you. We're all characters in the same story, on the same floating rock together. So I think that's kind of my message du jour that I really wanted to bring forth today in today's podcast. Now has never been a more of an urgent time to give back to the youth. People are like, the environment, fucking the conservatives, the liberals, and fucking the government and the WHO organization, and the fucking this and the that. And I'm like, man, trust me, I'm not down with the government, but I'm not down with people just talking about what's wrong with the government all the time. Do something. You don't have to go fight. You don't have to picket. You don't have to do anything except create community, empower the community. That's it. Lead by example. Lead with your heart. Put some hope back on these streets by just starting to give a shit about the people around you. That's all. You know, you see everybody, and I'm gonna challenge everybody right now. Maybe just get out of autopilot. You stop. You know, when you go into the grocery store, the next time you go into the grocery store, put your phone away and just observe everybody shopping. Tell me if you see, you know, you may see them, somebody's there, but the lights aren't on. Where are they? Do you ever notice people are just bumping into each other in the grocery stores nowadays?
Yeah.
Right? People are just so attached to their phones. They're attached to this alternate reality in their head they're created from all this stress and anxiety. We get it, man. Trust me, I know what it's like to live in that world. But now, more than ever, I'm trying to give you guys a cheat code to come out of that. The cheat code is service to others without the expectation of a reward. Give back. I'm not talking about going online and donating some money. I'm talking about giving back every day you step out of the house with whoever you interact with, to put forth an honest and sincere effort to leave that interaction feeling like, if you didn't inspire, empower, show some love. You didn't ruffle any feathers. You didn't take away from that person's morale. You know, I think out of all the things I've done, whether it's, I don't know what to call it, charity, whatever, it's just my way of living. It's how I live my life. I think nothing, I would put nothing above my day-to-day interactions with strangers as like what I do to try to make this world a better place. It's the things people don't see.
Yeah.
It's the things you haven't seen, Sonny. It's the things you haven't seen on my social media or I've talked about, things I even forget about. It's just being a good person to all the strangers I meet. Yeah. That's my fucking, if you want like my special skill, that's my special skill. Like every single person I meet, I'm like, fucking, I'm not gonna, you know, of course, like in the back of my head, I'm like, you, brain's like a computer. It's like already created some kind of a profile for that person, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna let that stop me from showing some kindness, showing some love. That's it. That's my superpower.
Yeah.
So that's, if, you know, from my very humble opinion, everybody can maybe set some intentions. We're talking about intentions, maybe set some intentions to give back the right way. You don't have to join political parties. You don't have to go riot. You don't have to donate money. Donate your attention to your community. Find people that are taking action. If it's mental health, look around at services. Don't look around at people talking and being advocates. That's cool. Fucking everybody's shouting, okay? Well, that's a lot of cooks in the kitchen just shouting about what's wrong. That's cool. But there are people out there actually putting up events, putting up services, people out there creating resources online for free. Go and lift those people up and share their shit if you're not going to do anything about it. But don't just talk about what's wrong. Don't just be a quote advocate. I'm doing my little air quotes.
Yeah.
Go. There's people that are doing the work. Go help them. You don't have to do the work, but and just tell other people about what they're doing. You want to do something about the environment? Just recycle. Stop getting angry at everybody. Do your part, man.
Yeah.
Stop fucking getting so angry at every single person that's not doing what you think they should be doing to better the world. Just do you and lead by example. People are going to get inspired by your example. And as for politics, bro, I don't even know what the fuck to say, man.
Yeah.
What kind of circus would you want to live in? It's an alternate reality, you know. Okay, so I just went on dating apps, you know, because Crystal and I have been broke up in the summer, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go kind of test out the waters, just go on a dating app, see what's up. And man, I don't know what to put on my political. What are your political views? And I see all these things. People not, and the people are like apolitical, conservative, liberal, and then a lot of the profiles are like, if you don't have a strong opinion about this, do not swipe me. It's like, all right, Susie, fucking, all right, I won't.
Yeah.
Like, and they're just so angry.
That's crazy that they even asked that as a question.
No, it's their whole bio. Like, you're literally fucking, you got one box to talk about you, right? You guys, tell me about you. It's like, if you haven't supported this cause in the past, blah, 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 do not even think about swiping. And it's not just that person. People are like, give their very strong opinions and views. No, man, you aren't your opinions or views, people. You are the content of your character.
Yeah.
Where's your character at? That's why I'm saying, like, it's the day-to-day interactions with people.
It is.
Are you showing up when nobody's watching? Are you being a good person? Would you stop to help somebody change a flat tire? If somebody runs out of gas, you're going to help push that car up the hill. If you see like an elderly woman crossing the street, are you just going to help her? Or are you going to pull out your phone and make a TikTok of it first before you help her cross the street? Like, I'm saying, the things that you do when nobody's watching, that's the shit that makes the world go around, where so many people are doing. Because if there weren't good people like that, we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
And they're there. They're all there.
Yeah.
So
they're in the back.
Shout out to those people, man.
Yeah. Straight up. No. It's something that, you know, even I've talked about myself from like the first, I think like 2 or 3 episodes, was the youth, just being able to kind of promote and help the youth with
the youth sports programs.
Like Kids Play's a big one that I like to donate to, just because they're, you know, going around to different communities all over BC and trying to promote programs within those communities, which is That's like unheard of. We used to have something like that. I remember, I don't know if you remember, Canadian Tire had like a similar thing like that.
Yeah, they did. I remember
They did for a bit.
I think it was Kids Sport too.
Kids Sport or something it was, yeah. And that one I just never saw like anything in the background. Like I saw that, you could donate at Canadian Tire, but then trying to find more information, it was like super local. Like it was like, oh, okay, they promote this one team and it's in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, why am I putting money into this in Abbotsford and it's going to some team in fucking Vancouver? That makes zero sense. Why is it not going to make a team here in Abbotsford or help maybe a school start some kind of like more sporting events that, like a lot of these schools have sports teams and a lot of students don't make those sports teams, right? Because it's pretty competitive.
Yeah, it is competitive.
So they should have at schools, which I like always wanted to advocate.
Especially probably the little homie we're playing with.
Yeah, like they get bullied and stuff, and like for them is like that's what I wanted to kind of get more into and advocate is that they need other sporting events. That it doesn't mean that you're on the school team. It's just you're part of the school programs. There's another. You're just playing against people from your own school. You don't have to go school to school or go to fucking province to province to play. You're just playing against students at your own school, but at least they get a chance and an opportunity because you never know who's going to actually become an athlete. Like, look at Michael Jordan. He didn't make his high school basketball team.
Yeah.
Or was it, I think in high school, he missed like one of the years or 2 of the years, but look what he became. So it's like some people just don't get that opportunity because they haven't got the exposure. Maybe they're too small, like the guy we met today. And you never know when somebody's going to get a growth spurt.
And you know what? Just in general, we need more activities. Like
way
for
more
adults.
Like what do you remember?
What do you think about it? Like I enjoyed like the highlight of my days. Like people are like, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm like, I'm just trying not to go out to parties, man, to be honest with you. I'm like, I'm just trying not to because like I hadn't drank all year. Really for like 10 months. It wasn't like I'm like I quit drinking. I never really told anybody. I'm like, oh, I'm done drinking. I'm like, I'm quitting. No, I'm like, no, man. I just for right now I don't feel like it. That's all. I'd have to put too much extra sauce on it. I'm like, how's it? But then for looking for alternative things, I'm like, I'm dumbfounded. I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, we can go for hikes every day. I'm like, that's cool because we have all the hikes around us. But what about other activities, man? Like for adults,
it's so tough to find them. Like I remember finding some finally with me, Grinder. Like we used to play on a dodgeball team. So you'd go to one of these schools out here and they'd have dodgeballs and it was like a full league where, you'd go to the finals. We made it to
any adults out there listening, yo, me and Sonny want to play, man.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Sick dodgeball league that's happening. And then what else? Like obviously playing into sports, like these softball leagues, you can be in like, obviously a beer league or the competitive league and then there's those things, but then that's only on people that are athletic. Say that you aren't as athletic and you still want to find activities. I think those are the people it's the hardest for is what do you do? Like you take your kids out, or if you don't have kids you're like, hey, I'm gonna like what activity, hiking, or maybe I'll go like what else, like after hiking, honestly, so like, what is there like that you can kind of think
if you want to get back to the community, here are some ideas, guys. Create some more events, create some more activities, create some more like group sports, like organize it and put it out there, put it up on meetup.com, put it on your social media, be the one that organizes it if you wanted to get done. Because when I wanted to see a festival, I started creating festivals.
And eventually, once you get something like that started, you don't have to even be there almost anymore because you can find the right people to continue running it that maybe have more of a passion and they have a passion of how to run it. You're just thinking of the idea. Hey, I want to start this.
The idea, exactly. Just think of the idea, get it done. Like you can start and just give back, and you can fill your cup at the same time. Yeah, right. That's a good thing about like I think when I use the term giving back, I think a lot of people their minds go into a bunch of different directions. But let's just say giving back is putting forth an effort for the greater good of someone other than yourself. And if you put forth an effort to just start to organize it, maybe find somebody who's good at organizing. If you're not good at organizing, just start to conceptualize what that would look like and create some hobbies, some activities to create community. That's one thing, man. There you go. Community. Create some community, everybody. Little pockets of beautiful communities that uplift and empower each other, that get active, that have nice social interactions, which is, I can't even tell you how no drug, pharmaceutical, or even holistic drug can ever compare. Okay, not your ayahuasca and not your Prozac. can compare to good, genuine social interactions with what it can do for your mental and emotional well-being. I promise you, it's an integral part of being a human to want to be connected. And if we're not connected, of course, you're going to see a decline in your mental and emotional well-being. Of course, man. Of course, that shit's going to go down the hole. But if you are getting good, genuine connections, like when we were in playing basketball today, I was just like, man, I'm so fucking blessed. Everybody's here. They're having a good time. I'm like looking around the whole gym. I was just like looking at everybody, taking it all in. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's in a good mood. Like you can go on any one of those courts and start a game. And if you just talk to people, they're very friendly. It's just, you can feel the good vibes.
Because everybody that's there is kind of there for the same reason. Like everybody's a basketball fan. They're there. Yeah. So they kind of want to talk to you too. Like they're not going to say anything bad because you're there to play the same exact thing.
And literally, okay, so for those of you that don't play basketball, okay, so let's say you're going to play basketball, you're shooting around the hoops. You got about, let's say, 4 or 5 guys shooting on the same hoop, right? Nobody's playing a game because everybody, that's just what.
And girls too. There was
and girls, yeah. You just want to be fair about it. So you're letting everybody kind of take shots on the hoop, not just taking the whole court to yourself, the whole hoop to yourself. But here's the beautiful thing about just being exposed to the community. You don't even have to know anybody's name, because what happens is you shoot the ball, you miss the ball, it goes into a different direction. Whoever's closest to it will literally go out of their way to grab it and throw you the ball. Yeah. Literally, I don't know who this kid is. Thank you, kid. And that happens, and I do the same.
I do too, yeah.
And you just do that. It's like an unwritten law.
Yeah.
Right? And it brings out the best in you, because you don't know this person. You never even spoken to him.
Yeah.
His ball comes your way and you throw it back to them. Actually, you sometimes, because you're closer, you'll run a little bit to grab it for him.
Yeah.
Go a little bit out of your way, stop what you're doing, and pass it to him.
Yeah.
It's beautiful when you think about it. It just keeps the activity going. It's just like, it's like one whole team working together, and nobody even had to even introduce themselves.
Yeah. And nobody even asked to play on a court. It's not like, hey, somebody comes on and like, hey, can I join this court? You just kind of mesh together.
Yeah.
Another person comes, they got a ball in their hand, they take a shot, boom, they're part of that court now.
It just happened.
It just happened.
And see, okay, so we need to just take that type of a setting and a scenario, and we just need to apply that into the city, man.
Yeah, literally.
Have these adults clicking and coming together with more than just booze. I'm not anti-booze. I'm, when it comes to activities, like, what are we all doing now besides smoking weed and getting drunk? I know there's a lot more activities, but even the activities that we do, we need something. We need some kind of a substance. Even for my homies that are in the spiritual world, like, don't worry, man, I teach yoga. I get it. I understand that world a bit. I'm not throwing any shade on you, but I'm just saying, like, you guys want to be on mushrooms every day? You guys want to be on mushrooms every single day. Yeah. You want to microdose every single day. You want to just like plan your next ayahuasca trip because you feel like that's what's going to help you. It may help. And it is. A lot of these things are great at giving you insight on how to, change the things in your life that you were otherwise unaware of, or giving you kind of like the next steps on what to do. It's just showing you what to do. It's not doing it for you. You literally have to do the work after the psychedelic.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing. Even when you're getting high and you're having all these epiphanies and you're having all these great genius ideas that come and they go, and you're like, I can't function when I'm not high. It's like, yeah, bro, but what are you doing with it? What are you doing with those thoughts and those ideas and that energy and that? And why is it that your morale is only raised when a certain substance is involved? I'm saying you could do that without the substances. It does, if that's what you do. It is going to take a little time to level out again. To come back to neutral. You don't have to quit anything cold turkey. I'm just saying everything in moderation, man.
Yeah.
Everything in moderation. You don't have to rely on those things to have a good time. And I've been there before. I've relied on alcohol. I would never say I was an alcoholic, but I would say, like, man, if I'm thinking in my head, like, what I want to drink tonight, and like, if I don't get that one drink I want, then I'm not going to have a good time. There's something fucking wrong there. Yeah. Right? Like, this one drink, these drinks are like the fucking standing between me and a good time. And if without these drinks, I'm not going to have a good time. It's like, okay. Or like, fuck, like, when I used to be stoner, bro, like, I fucking couldn't even wake up without blazing. I'm like, fuck, man, it's not going to be a sunny day until I hit the blunt. And then, I'm not going to eat until I get high.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Fuck, I'm not going to eat till I get high, or I'm not going to fucking play video games till I get my zone and get baked. And it's just like, and then I used to think too, I'm like, I love video games, but I remember, I'm like, but when I was a kid, you don't need to get me fucking baked.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? I'm not getting hammered fucking to enjoy myself. I fucking love video games. I love playing basketball on the front steps outside our house on our basketball hoop. I loved just being around other people with my energy, with that. And so I think a good resolution, I think a lot of people, okay, there's always circling back to these resolutions.
Yeah.
Here's another one. It's if you are going to take a look at reducing certain things in your life that you know are not good for you, why not walk down this path instead of running? Letting you know you don't have to quit it cold turkey. You can just start to reduce the amount of weed that you smoke, the drinks that you have. If it's 4 times a week that you're drinking, why not drop it down to 2 nights, right? And if you're smoking freaking 2 joints a day, why not drop it down to 1 joint? And if you're hitting a fucking shatter pen, you just fucking stop, okay?
Shout out Grinder.
If you're fucking hitting a shatter pen.
Remember when you asked, you're like, yo, I'll try that vape? And then he's like, yo, I have a shatter pen. I was like, well, I just have a regular vape.
I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to go into the fucking 5th dimension right now.
Yeah.
I just want to watch this movie.
Yeah. And I think just to touch up on, for people to like be able to build events on it, just kind of, it was in my head for a second there that, you can go on like Facebook and all these places and put up events in the community section there, but there's also an app called Eventbrite.
Yeah.
And it's an app that I use when I go to like travel. So whenever I travel to a city, I'll look on there for what events are going on, what kind of activities are going on while I'm there.
Yeah.
And then
and Meetup are good, yeah.
Yeah, and as of recently, I was like, hey, well, why am I not using this when I'm at home? So I started looking through there, and they had like some really good events.
Activities, man.
Such good ones. There was like art ones where you get to create art, or you get to go see art. You get to like,
man.
Yeah, like
we have this whole fucking podcast trying to inspire people to do shit, but they're already doing it without.
I think that's also a place where people want to create events. It's actually a good place to go to.
Yeah,
because you could do events that are for free, obviously, and then say if you are putting money behind something to do any bigger events or whatever it is, they also have that. So you could sell tickets. You could have pre-sale tickets on there that people have to buy to get into your event.
Yeah.
Or you have the events that are just free. So you have kind of a little bit of both. You get to choose what kind of event you're looking for. And for the people that drink, like they have like, different drinking ones where you can go to all the different wineries here. People forget that in the Lower Mainland, we have quite a few wineries now, especially Elder Grove and Langley. A lot of different events for kids too, taking your kids to like these kid meetups.
Bro, I'm freaking going on this right now.
Yeah, like it's crazy that like I was always using it wherever I went, but I never thought, hey, why don't I see what's going on locally? What are the events here? And when I did recently look at it, there was actually all these random events that were happening, random like artists that were coming out here for like, hip hop, some were like the jazz, like different kind of styles that, hey, you're like, hey, it's a Wednesday night. Let's go like see this group, like a jazz group or whatever kind of group it is, right? There's always something different on that app. And I think that's like a really good app for people to just like put on an event yourself. Or if you are looking for something, and you can set the dates too, be like, hey, for these next 3 days, what's going on? And it'll show you, hey, these are the dates, these are times. Some events are, like daily, bi-weekly, like however they kind of go.
Yeah.
But it's actually something that I just kind of want to throw out there that, it's a really good app for people to use for finding things that if you're kind of bored or you're trying to find something new, and you'll find like-minded people because they'll be looking for these kind of things too, right? Like I'm in all these golf groups on Facebook, and people will post on there in one of the groups that I'm in that, hey, I just moved to BC. I live in like Surrey, and I'm looking for people to golf with.
Yeah.
And like in the back of my head, I'm like, this person putting themselves out there that, hey, you know what? I need to find some new people. And then you don't know who you're going to run into or who you're going to meet, who you're going to end up become friends with. Because golf, you're stuck with each other for 4 to 5 hours. It could be somebody that you just don't even get along, but you're willing to put yourself out there and like find that community of like people that golf and look, I can continue doing this. So I think for people that, are looking for anything to do, that was just golf because that's something I'm passionate for. But if somebody has a passion for something, go out there and find these kind of things. They're some of these resources are already built there that you don't need to start from scratch to build it yourself. You can join these communities and then bring others to them.
Yeah, it's dope. We're going to start a new segment called The Rundown. I'm going to go over everything we just talked about it with our rundown.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the rundown of our podcast today. I don't know why I changed my voice a little bit. I felt like
it was like a more news. When you hear the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, today on the rundown, we'll be going over this podcast, episode 13.
Yeah, I think we're up there now.
Okay. So today we talked about Sunny and I working out and how empowering it is to find somebody to do those activities with. We talked about intentions for the New Year's, setting intentions, setting goals, about creating a space, getting some people together if you want to, if you're not inspired, so you can be inspired by others, setting some goals, intentions of what you want to do in the new year. You can walk, you don't have to run. They can be small, they can be large, and try to take a look at all areas of your life, relationships, career, purpose. Take a look at your well-being, take a look at your mental, emotional, physical, even spiritual well-being. There you go. Go to town on those goals. We also talked about giving back, and giving back doesn't necessarily have to mean donating to charity. Giving back can just be how you show up every day of your life with every interaction you have with not just your family, but the strangers you meet in this world. Show up with a smile, and let's just be a little bit more courteous and respectful. Then we talked about our Wizards party, whereas we are going to be setting up another one where we go off onto a beautiful island called Belacara. That sounds made up, but it's actually a real place. And we're going to go there, and we have a Wizards party where we set intentions, where we have little fires. We do a little yoga. We set some goals. We go away to come back. We do some mushrooms, but just kind of get out of our head, get out of our regular scenery, just to kind of uplift us and give us a little bit more guidance and direction with our life. We then talked about events, creating events, empowering the youth, giving back to the youth. They are the future, so lend them a helping hand, inspire them, empower them. Let's stop getting angry at one another, and let's stop trying to think we're the main characters of our own story. And maybe turn the volume down on all the things that make you angry, and turn the volume up on all the things that you could do by just showing up with some good energy for others around you, especially the youth. And events where you don't have to drink, where you don't have to get high. You can go and meet up. You can go on Eventbrite. You can look at things that are already popping, and then you can go in there and get involved, or you can start something up on those apps or start something out yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the rundown, sponsored to you by Sunny's sugary ass drink that we will no longer be drinking. Fucking 30 grams of sugar.
Just today. Might as well finish it today.
Yeah. All right. Good chit chat.
All right, guys.